Close your eyes, my darling. Let me sweep you off your feet. There's a home in the meadow, and it's a home you ought to meet. This will be our threshold to a home of joy and peace. This will be the place where our sorrows are released. Know the walls are for now a little empty, but you've the eye of an artist. So let's paint the walls with laughter until not a space missed. Twine your treasures on the shelves with mine, and hang your dresses by the mirror. I never heard my heart sing the way it is now that you're here. This will be our home. This will be our home. For tonight, let's leave the dishes in the sink and our shoes by the bottom step. For dancing in the kitchen's better when your feet are bare. One day we'll own a piano, a fireplace where all the music will go up through the chimney. Oh, we'll play for all the stars. This will be our home. This will be our home. One day we'll add a room or two for little feet to come pattering through. But for now, this home just hold me and you. And our home may soon change places as we bound mountains and walk on oceans without fear. But for now, our adventure lies here. Oh, for now, our adventure lies here. Oh, this will be our home. Oh, this will be our home. Those whispers kiss my very heart. And in your embrace, my walls crumble apart. My walls crumble apart. You are the one that I will dream with while our coffee steams. You are the one I will dance with to the melodies of dreams. And I will sing you to sleep every night. And I will wake by your side. Through every pain and sorrow, the adventure of tomorrow, through the joy of every morning, my love will be. Through every pain and sorrow, the adventure of tomorrow, through the joy of every morning, my love will be. My love will be yours. You are the one I will hold tight through every winter wind. You are the one I will call through every storm and send. To prove that love endures all things. Oh, love endures all things. Through every pain and sorrow, the adventure of tomorrow, through the joy of every morning, my love will be. Through every pain and sorrow, the adventure of tomorrow, the joy of every morning, my love will be. My love will be yours. you at all? Did you think of me at all? Girl, I thought of you every day. You look so beautiful in white. I can't believe that you're my bride. Today you're mine, oh mine, for the rest of I knew from the first time that I saw you. I knew you were one of my own. The way you smile, the way you sing, the way you look at me and dream. I know I have everything. You look so beautiful in white. I can't believe it, you're my bride. Today you're mine, oh mine, oh mine, for the rest of my life. I give you all of me, all my days, and I love you in all your ways. You look so beautiful in white. I can't believe that you're my bride. Today you're mine, oh mine, oh mine, felt like love, at least I thought it was. It's hard to take, using up our lives, always picking sides. What a waste. I got so far behind there. With you I was frozen in time. The hardest part was losing trust. Now the road is a wandering line, and I know I was never enough. I'm looking for a truth I'll never find in you, but I still look there. I see it in our kids, searching like I did, and learning the world isn't fair. You always had a different view. Okay to keep it living alive, as long as what they thought of you was you had everything perfectly in line. But I know we would never know. You never know the cost of use until you can't get them back. You're getting by okay, I hear. You keep on losing sight of the track. Still I know I was never enough. I know I was never enough. I know we were never enough. Rest your sleepy eyes, don't you worry about a thing. Please forgive my trespasses, my dear. You have not a single one. I have waited years to have you here. You're the only one I want. I've been going crazy just thinking about you. And I've been blown away by all the lovely things you do. It's me and you. Your beauty is second to none. Your countenance unparalleled, you're brighter than the sun. And when you're happy, I'll share in the laugh. And if I ever say something off color, I swear I'll take it back. Please forgive my trespasses, my dear. You have not a single one. I have waited years to have you here. You're the only one I want. I've been going crazy just thinking about you. And I've been blown away by all the lovely things you do. It's me and you.